Next up, we'll explore the new table formatting options for your list of records in Excel 2007. Now, this next feature of Excel 2007, I have to admit, is actually one of my favorites of the program, and it's the automatic table formatting that you can apply to your lists of records, such as the one you see here displaying employee information. It also automatically inserts some great features that you may already be accustomed to using from previous versions of Excel, such as auto filters and sorting. The first thing I'm going to do to begin applying the table formatting to my list of records is just to simply click somewhere within my record. So as you can see here, I'm just going to click in cell A1. Notice that I'm not actually selecting the entire list of records. This is something you actually don't have to do, assuming there's no blank rows or blank columns within your list of records. Excel will automatically know where the data begins and ends. And to demonstrate this, I'll actually use a keyboard shortcut of Control and the letter A to select the entire list. I'll go ahead and do that now, and as you can see, when I do so, Excel knows exactly where the list of records begins and ends simply by locating the blank rows or blank columns, which is why you never want to have blank rows or blank columns within your list of records. Once I have a cell in my list selected, we're ready to apply the table formatting now. This is a feature you're going to find on your home ribbon, and in my case I'm going to click on the Styles button to display the Format as Table option. Now remember, if you have enough room on your ribbon, this feature may already be displayed and you therefore may not have to click on the Styles button to get to this command. We'll go ahead and give the Format as Table button here a click, and when we do, we'll see several formatting options in which we can apply to our table. And remember now, these formatting options, mainly the background color you're seeing here, are coming from the design theme of our Excel workbook. Should we change the design theme of our workbook, these color choices would also change. So for this example here, I'll select a shade of blue under the section labeled Medium. Now when I click on the table style, the first thing that Excel needs to do is actually verify the range of records for our list. As I mentioned earlier, Excel should already know where the list begins and ends as long as you don't have any blank rows or columns within the list. The other thing we want to do here is verify that Excel knows that we have headers in our top row, or labels for each of our columns. That being the case, I'm going ahead and click OK, and when I do, Excel will now apply the table style that we've selected from the table formatting options. Now, something else that's important to note here is when you do apply table formatting to your data, this feature does come with its own design tab. You'll notice I have several options in which to work with my table. However, if I were to click at any point outside of this table, that tab would disappear. Notice though, all I've got to do is click back within the table and that design tab will now once again reappear on my ribbon. Another feature I would like to point out about the table formatting are the drop-down arrows that you see that have been placed on the right side of our header row. Now for those who have used previous versions of Excel, you may recognize these as the auto filters. First, I'd like to take a moment to resize all the columns so that we can see the labels that have been partially covered by those drop-down arrows. I'm going to do this by simply selecting all of the columns from A to I, and then by double-clicking between any two of our columns, we can apply the Excel AutoFit command. And with that, we can now see all of the labels that we could not see a moment ago. Next, to demonstrate the auto filters that we have, let's say that we wish to see only the employees that work in the HR department. So what I'll do is click the drop-down arrow here next to the department field, and using the Select All command, I can actually deselect all of the currently selected departments, choosing only the one I wish to see, and when I click OK, you now see that we're looking at simply those folks that work in the HR department. Should I want to clear the filter, I just simply need to go back to that same drop-down arrow and can either choose this option here to clear the filter. I could even just go back down here and reselect the Select All command. Clicking OK after each of those options would once again display all records from the list. Next, let's look at an example that involves some sorting. This time I'm going to click the drop-down arrow next to the pay rate column, and before we filter any of our records, I'm going to resort them from largest to smallest. Once I've done that, let's say we wish to see only those employees that are making less than $10 an hour. Now, what I don't want to have to do is deselect all the options here that would allow me to see those records that I wish to see. Instead, I'm going to choose an option here from the Number Filters menu, which gives us much more flexible ways of applying the criteria we wish to apply. I'm going to choose the option here of less than or equal to, type in the number 10, And when I click OK, I'm now seeing only those employees which make less than $10 an hour. And then once again, when we wish to clear this filter, we can go back to the same drop-down arrow we used to apply it. Once more, just choose the option here of Clear Filter from Pay Rate, and we're seeing once more all of the records from the table. Another benefit of the table formatting I'd like to demonstrate is how the formatting will automatically extend should I add additional records. Let's say, for example, we're adding another new employee to this table, and as I do so, you can see how the formatting is automatically being applied to additional rows. I can also go over here to the lower right corner of the table and extend this formatting on my own should I want to do that beforehand, and now begin adding the additional records that I need to this table. And that's a look at the new table formatting features of Excel 2007. Once again, that was a feature that was available on the Home ribbon, either in the Styles menu, or should you have enough room to display this button on its own, and I'll do a quick resize of my window here, that button perhaps is already up there at the top of your screen on the Home ribbon.